Hello. Today is going to be just an introduction about the data science, AI, machine learning, what all these names mean exactly. All right. So we'll be going through the curriculum of data science, AI, machine learning. Is the different names, but to some extent, it's nearly the same thing there. Okay, it's nearly the same thing. So we're going to talk now about the curriculum, what we'll be doing in the next few weeks. Okay. First of all, this curriculum is going to take 10 hours to some extent. Okay. It's going to be like a boot camp or a mini boot camp. Okay. When you finish this curriculum, hopefully you will be up to being a data scientist, right? It's because I don't want to talk, because most of the boot camp, it takes probably 3 months, some of boot camps, 12 weeks, etc. So in this case, I designed the boot camp here to make sure that the guys going to attend this, there will be a data scientist within 10 hours, or at least they understand exactly the concept, the idea behind it, the technology behind it, and so forth. Okay, so let's dive in. The curriculum here, let's first of all, we're gonna talk about the difference between data science, AI, and curriculum. Okay? So it's very important to understand exactly these things, and whether we're talking about data science or machine learning and so on, then we need some skills to do that. Okay? And most of the skills that needed the same, they match. All right. Take the case of data science here, the case of data science here. We have all the skills around here. Okay. Now the skills, we have the statistics, we have data visualization, which is the plotting and so on. We have the coding, and we have Python and R. Python is the main language of data science. It's the most popular one. Okay, we can do it with R, we can do it with Java, but doesn't matter. Okay, because Python is very rich. There's a lot of libraries there, which has been designed by a community and so on. So Python is, I say, is number one for data science. We have machine learning, and we have a lot of models in machine learning. We are talking about the supervised learning, supervised learning, talking about classification, we're talking about regression, and so forth. We're going to talk also, one of the skills we need maybe to some extent is SQL and NoSQL, especially SQL when it comes to the queries. SQL is a beast. Okay, when we talk about SQL, there have been SQL for a long time. There's an SQL from RDBMS. There's an SQL from IBM. Okay, there's an SQL from Microsoft. There's MySQL. There's an SQL from Oracle, and so AWS, and so forth. And we are talking about the data wrangling here. Data wrangling is all about the cleaning the data, playing with the data. All right. And it's exactly the same skills are needed for machine learning. It is exactly the same skills as you can see here. We have the data, we have the programming skills, we have math, probability, and statistics. The same for machine learning. We have programming, we have statistics, we have prototyping, we have data modeling. When you think about these areas, okay, they have a common playground. And the common playground is mainly the skill set you need as a data scientist or as a machine learning engineer and so on. At the same time, the core of the machine learning, the data science, AI are the data. Okay, if you don't have data, you can do nothing. Okay, absolutely nothing. So you need data. You need data. At least that's the data. When you have the data, you process the data. What does it mean? You process it. You're going to clean in the data, the missing values. You make sure that this data is going to fit into the model, and then you model it. And after that, you're going to fine tune the model, and then you deploy it. Okay. So it's a process. We'll be talking about this quite a few times in the future. It's a very interesting process here, and to make sure exactly that this process here is going to take, you're going to take it step by step, until you reach the goal of the deployment, which is having a product, a workable product. Okay. of course, this product has to have a very high accuracy and so on. We'll talk about this anyway. It's not an issue. So keep in mind, guys, when you hear about data science, when you hear about machine learning, when you hear about AI, when you hear about something else, it's exactly nearly the same thing. We're not going to say it's 100% the same thing, but it's nearly the same thing we're talking about here. Okay, because we'll be facing, first of all, with the same technology. To some extent, it's the same technology, and there's more technology here. We're going to talk about Hadoop. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff here. So it is other technologies to be involved, and it's the same concept. Okay, it's the same concept. If you are a machine learning engineer, you are a data scientist, so it's exactly the same concept. So please don't be threatened by data science, machine learning, AI. It's nearly the same thing. You need, to some extent, the same skills, and what you need, what you need exactly at the end of the day, you're going to need some data. Okay, that's the data. Okay, the data, you must have the data. Whether clean data or processed data, you need to have the data. And once you have the data, you move further. Okay, so the next one, we're going to explain to you now what's expected, what's going to be the curriculum. The curriculum is quite an extensive curriculum. It's a curriculum which is based on 10 modules or 11 modules, doesn't matter. And each module is going to take probably 1 hour. And we're going to split this 1 hour into probably 3 or 4 50 minutes. Okay, so we're going to give more time to people. We're going to give more time to people. 50 minutes is more than enough. You digest is the amount of knowledge you're going to digest. It's going to be processing you. You go back home. You're going to do it quickly. We're going to have some use cases for each case. The use cases are very important. Is to see exactly the implementation of the module, how it works. And the first module, we'll be talking about the Python, which is exactly the core programming, language. And then it's going to be supported by ChatGPT. And ChatGPT, guys, it's not AI. ChatGPT is not AI. ChatGPT, when you think about it, ChatGPT here, and then at the same time, it communicates exactly with AI. So the ChatGPT is the front end of AI. Okay, and you talk about it with AI, and AI do all the research, all the processing, all the to get exactly the job done. So when you ask for something here, it goes straight to it with AI, and AI does all the processing stuff. Okay, so ChatGPT is very interesting. I think you are very lucky now to have ChatGPT. You're very lucky, very lucky. In the old days, we didn't have ChatGPT. We have only Python, and to write a code in Python is quite difficult, and it's quite difficult. And then if you have an error or something like that, then you're going to have to fix it again. Do a lot of research and so forth. Okay, so now what's happening? You're going to learn Python, and Python is going to be taught by ChatGPT. ChatGPT is going to teach you how to be a good programming or good programmer in Python. Okay, so ChatGPT, I recommend ChatGPT is going to be first to be known with Python. We're going to write a lot of code, a few codes, and some of the codes will be, we're going to seek the support of ChatGPT to write the code for us. Okay, if you don't have to write one single line of code, you can. But ChatGPT, I recommend with ChatGPT, is going to teach you how to write your program in Python. Very interesting stuff. So for ChatGPT here, there are a couple of versions in ChatGPT. There's a 3.5, which is free. Okay, the 3.5 here, which is free. And there's another one, which is ChatGPT 4.0. Okay, ChatGPT 4.0. Okay, at the same time, we have ChatGPT 4. And this one you have to pay $20 per month. Okay, so I recommend you guys, if you want to get into the ChatGPT, get this one. Is $20 per month, which is, it is nothing. All right. And we'll be talking about the mathematics, the statistics at the same time, and all of them will be supported by a use case. Use case is very, very important to understand exactly the implementation of each module. The second module, we're going to talk about the EDA, and EDA is the exploratory data analysis. Here, again, we'll be doing some use cases, and the EDA is all about cleaning the data, get rid of the missing values, do the plotting, do everything. Okay, that's the EDA, exploratory data analysis. We're going to analyze the data here. We're going to analyze the data, whether from the missing value, whether from the statistical approach, whether from plotting and so on. That's all about the EDA. The third module, we're going to dive into SQL and the SQL queries, understand exactly what does it mean, SQL. SQL queries is this language to be used by SQL to get the data, to move the data, to explore the data, and so on. SQL is very important. In our case here, there is a free SQL, it's called MySQL. Okay, MySQL is free here. There's something called also the SQLite. Okay, so we'll be talking about this one, very important here. If you understand this, SQL is very easy. I'm sure you guys, you're gonna understand it. SQLite, once you digest SQLite, then you can play with SQL wherever you want, with SQL on your premises, on the cloud, or because the SQL language is nearly the same to some extent, nearly the same, because it's standard to some extent. It's standard. SQL with Microsoft, SQL with Oracle, 95% is there. Okay, so the fourth module, which is going to be the machine learning here. From here, we tackle machine learning. Okay, from here, we tackle machine learning here, and machine learning here, and machine learning here. Module 4, 5, 6. And all of them, of course, are going to be machine learning, but quite different. Okay, here, the machine learning, there's something called the supervised machine learning, which is the regression. Okay, I'm going to give you an example of regression, like we have done. Like you have the price of the house, regression, it has to be numerical stuff. Numerical. Okay, and the regression you're looking for instance, I will give you an example. If you want to exactly to predict the price of a house, you need to first of all to have exactly some of the data, and this data is going to be how many bedrooms, how many bathrooms, what's the plot, the area of the plot, and so on. That's called regression. It's going to be numerical. You predict something numerical. Okay, something else which is called the supervised machine learning classification. All right, that's, I'm going to give you an example. In any, you have data to some extent. You have data, and data on the left-hand side, you have the features, and on the right-hand side, one column is going to be the target. So whether you're working on regression or classification, on the right-hand side, always put your data is going to be the target, not confused with the features. And here, the features, it's not numerical. It's not numerical at all. Just give you an example. It's not numerical at all. Just give you an example. For instance, if you wanted to predict if someone is going to have diabetes or not, either yes or no. It's not numerical, either yes or no. Of course, later on you're going to convert yes and no into something 1 and 0. But still, it's not numerical. It's not like a data for the house here. You express this into the form of dollars, $100,000, and so forth. Okay, here it's yes or no. That's a classification. You classify your someone who's sick or not. Okay, there is another one called the cluster. Unsupervised learning. First of all, we have the supervised, the unsupervised, classification, regression. The third one is going to be unsupervised learning. Unsupervised learning, we have data, but we don't know what are exactly the features and what is the target. Here we have features, we have target, and here we have features, we have target. I'll explain this later on. Okay, I'll explain this later on. Okay, don't rush into it. And here you don't have no feature and no target. They don't exist at all. Okay, and then you can predict exactly if you have a data point And the cluster, you have 2 cluster, 3 cluster, 5 cluster. It's a group. A cluster is a group. And you have a new data point, and you can predict if this new data point is going to belong to cluster number 1 or cluster number 2 or cluster number n. Okay, without taking into account the feature and the target. And from here, we're going to have the module 7 and 8. Module 7 and 8, this is going to be the machine learning models. That's the modeling part. Okay, models here. The same here. Here, it's single models, decision trees, and so on. It's a single models, and the ensembles is an ensemble of models, more than equal to 2 models. Okay, we can put them together to create something called an ensemble. But decision tree is just one model. Okay, it's just one model. And again, which is very important again, guys, here, it is the use cases. The use cases are very, very important because use cases, you understand exactly how the model is implemented. Okay, and we're going to see here, we're going to see a lot of stuff, the confusion matrix. We're going to see a lot of stuff here. A lot of statistics here is going to be here. Okay, some statistics, a lot of statistics to some extent, but we'll teach you that. We'll teach you that. Don't panic, don't be scared. Okay. There's the number 8, the module number 8, guys. It's the NLP. NLP. This is the technology behind the ChatGPT. Okay, that's technology behind ChatGPT. NLP is natural language processing. What does that mean? Natural language processing is a human language. Okay, as you may know, the computer does not understand human language. So what the computer understands is numbers. Okay, it's very good because the computer has been designed from 0 and 1, so the computer understands numbers. Now is if you put like a document, a book, or something like that, the computer does not understand that. Yes, of course, now we have AI tools to understand that. We have AI tools now to understand that. But originally, natural language processing, you have the language, okay? I'm going to convert this language into vectors. Each letter or each word has a vector, and we're going to put this one together. And this one, we're going to do it is very, very interesting topic here. The natural language processing is very interesting topic. So if you work in this field later on, NLP, it's paying a lot of money. Okay, there's another one, which is number 9 here. Number 9 here. It's number 9. It's about the neural network. What does it mean, the neural network? We're trying to mimic the human brain into a neuron, into an architecture based on network. Okay, so it's I would explain this again later on. So we're trying to mimic human brain into neural network, but again, it's we're far away from human brain, just a mimic, it's an approach. Okay, just an approach. That's called neural network and deep learning. Neural network is up to 2 layers, in neural network, and more than 2 layers, 3 layers, sorry, is going to be the deep learning. For instance, if you take the case of Google Translate. Okay, Google Translate, they have 200 layers to translate, for instance, a document or to translate something like that. Okay, and the 2 layers is going to be very simple, and we're going to see some of the examples here, some of these cases here. It will be doing 3 and more. This cannot be done on your laptop, so we have to go through Google Colab. I will talk about this later on. Google Colab here. The Google Colab, it's a platform for Python, for Jupyter, and then you have to pay to get access to that. Okay, Google Colab. It has high processing power here. Your laptop, or if you want to use on your laptop, you have to buy NVIDIA. Okay, that's and the last one. At the end of the day, you have all the process here from data to optimization of the model. What does it mean, optimization of the model? We got all the hyperparameter optimized. We'll talk about this again. Don't be scared. we'll talk about this again, and then we're going to deploy the model. At the end of the day, if you work for an organization, the model has to be deployed. If you work for a hospital, so the model, if you want to predict if someone X has diabetes or not, you have to deploy a model based on the data. And when you deploy it, you put all the data of this person, okay? And you're going to predict if this person is going to have a diabetes or not. Okay, that's in the case of the healthcare. There's something else in the case of the real estate, for instance. In the real estate, you have plenty of houses, for instance, in an area of Melbourne or Sydney and so on, and you want to predict exactly such house with certain specification, certain number of bedrooms, the plot, etc., etc. You want to predict how much this house is going to cost. Okay, that's again a supervised learning, machine learning, regression, and the other one, the first one with diabetes, is a classification. Okay. So we deployed. What does it mean? We deployed. At the end of the day, guy who is working in the at the hospital, for instance, take the case of in the healthcare industry. Okay, he's going to have an application in his laptop, and this application he is going to have all the targets. Sorry, he's going to have all the features, and he is going to have the target. We put a new patient with a new patient here. We put all the features here, the new features here, and then we predict his new patient here is going to have diabetes or not. Okay, this is just an example. We're going to elaborate this more and more when we move into the different use cases. So keep in mind, we're going to have from 1 to 10 modules. The last one, I'm not sure about it. If you're going to cover the generative AI, it's a very interesting field to be in. So we're going to have 10 modules, and each module is going to take 1 hour, and we're going to split that hour into 3 or 4 50 minutes sessions. Okay. Next one, we'll be covering also once we finish this, there's something very interesting to do. Once we finish with this guy, this is exactly the data science stuff, or data science. Okay, I'm going to give you new tools. This is new tools here that have been designed, that are quite recent, that were designed for the last few years. And these new tools, people are making a lot of money with them. Sorry. Okay, there's a tool called Make from make.com, for instance. Okay, which is an automation and content creation tool. There's an InVideo, which is a video for content creation. There's a Designer RR, which is a writing an ebook. If you want to write a book, you have an idea, you can put your idea into this this tool here. Is going to generate for you a book if you want 100 pages. If you want 2 pages, it can fix your CV. It can put your CV with your job responsibility. You can put exactly the same and provide exactly to the employer with your CV. You can do a lot of stuff. There's another one. This one is the top of the top here, which is Bubble. This one, it's no code. First of all of them here, there's no code here for application development. So you want to build an application, or you want to build a good website, a shiny website, Bubble is your guess. Okay. There is Rask to translate videos in any language. So you have a video, and the video, it has transcripts in English. You want to translate it in French, and this one can do it. There's ID, which is taking picture, talking to picture. The picture can talk and do a lot of things here. There's Midjourney. This one is very, very good too. It's one of the most popular one. And this one is for image creation from a prompt. A prompt, what does it mean? A prompt here is place where you can write anything you want here, and then you execute. Okay, once you execute here, it's gonna, if you talk about your image here, what you want to see here, then you execute, and then you have your image here. Okay, then if you're not happy about this, you have to be more comprehensive here. You have to be very specific here to get exactly what you want. I recommend you to have a look at the Midjourney and the different images that people that have been producing. Fantastic, really, it's very cool. And there's also the ChatGPT, as I talked to you before. This is a very good to have, and very good tool. I advise you guys to be on version 4.0. It's not that expensive. At least you need at least 1 month to be on that on this one. Okay. So this is what I would like to say to you guys, and I wish you good luck and all the best. And saluti.